Yes, live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to this edition of SportsView, Monday, the 10th of November, 2025. Good evening, Joe.
Evening, Pat. Evening, Darwin.
Good evening, Darwin. Welcome.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Joe.
Now, we're live streaming tonight, so anybody you can comment straight into the studio to us, and we will read them out. We leave out all the big words, but we read out all your comments anyway, and to keep it simple.
But we have to use allegedly, so just remember
Yeah.
that one. That's
Well,
our most important one, right?
Darwin is our allegedly guest.
We'll have to hold up like a little banner, won't we? Allegedly,
Yeah, right.
allegedly.
Well, I hope we won't be sued for $1 billion. Anyway,
Yeah,
there you go.
No,
Anyway,
he's going for it.
yeah.
jackpot. We're covering soccer, rugby, Formula One, golf, tennis, snooker. Hopefully, we'll get to them all. But we generally start off with soccer, the Premiership. Over the weekend, there was wins for Everton, West Ham, Chelsea, Man City, Villa, Brentford, and Forest, and Liverpool lost again. Not alone did they lose; they were well beaten. Well beaten. And whatever about the controversy about their goal that was ruled off, that makes no difference to the performance. They're not playing well, Joe. Would that be correct? They're not
Oh,
playing well.
no, they're not playing well, and to be honest, they don't seem to be able to find any answers to the problems that were going on. I mean, if we go back 6 months and 6 months to 9 months, and this was Amarin with Manchester United, and you got Slot now with Liverpool.
Yeah,
That would have been tearing Amarin apart, and Slot is kind of sliding by on this. He can't solve a problem, doesn't know what his best team is. I've said this for the longest time. As long as he's got Kanate at the back, at centre defence, then Liverpool are going to struggle. And they're going to struggle just because, Virgil van Dijk has lost a step or a half a step, and that is huge in the Premier League. And he cannot go on covering for Kanate.
no.
He was beaten again for the first goal on against
Sunday.
City.
Yes,
Against
yeah.
City on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, a fella of his size not able to clear a header and the ball dropping over his head to Haaland behind him. There's no excuse for that. I mean, centre halves are always taught to be backing up into the centre forward. He just jumps from the spot, and if he misses the ball, then the centre forward gets it behind him. I just don't understand why they got Wirtz, and they got your man from Isaac from Newcastle, but the guy that they really needed was Gooey from Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
They really needed a centre half, and they haven't solved that problem. And people were saying that against Real Madrid they looked really good. They did this. You know what? I watched that game against Real Madrid, and Real Madrid were at half pace. I was not impressed with Real Madrid in any way, shape, or form.
No, Real Madrid. You're right there, Joe. Real Madrid were very, very poor.
They were. They
And
were.
now we have a situation where Man United and Liverpool are both on 18 points, and they're 8 points off the lead. Derwin, were you impressed with Man United in the end?
I don't know if I can say impressed, but
Yeah.
they seem to be getting some results, aren't they? They're eking some results out. I thought they were a bit unlucky with the deflection as well. But at the same time, they're just grinding out some scores, aren't they?
Well, the positives, I suppose, is as you said, they're grinding out results. They're picking up a point or two, and that's better than losing every week.
Yeah, and he's definitely changed the way he's playing, isn't he?
Yes, yeah.
And he's finally getting something out of Casemiro because he's not asking him to run.
Right.
Yeah, and Casemiro seems to be happier and settled in the team.
Yeah.
He seems, his head seems to be in the right place.
Well, I mean, he's got Harry Maguire behind him.
Yeah,
And Harry Maguire, no matter what anybody says, Harry Maguire is a good centre half.
I'd have Harry Maguire on that team. I'm a big fan of Harry Maguire. Big fan.
And so am I. And when you've got a fella like that behind you, that is going to win headers behind you, that you're not responsible for doing stuff like that, and is very, very, he's positional savvy. He knows how to read the game. He reads the game very well. Again, the guy that's causing the problems, and he got caught again at the weekend, Luke Shaw, for I don't know the first or the second goal. He's done again in the middle of the box. And the only thing I think that Amarin is really hoping for is that Lisandro Martinez gets back, and he may just be the answer to that third person at the back.
Yes,
in the left back position. But that remains to be seen. But yeah, I mean they're digging out results, which is a good thing. Kuna is playing really well. He may not be as productive as he was at Wolves at the moment, but I mean he's playing like a man possessed the way he runs around, and that's what they need. They need
Mbeumo is effective up front as well.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
he is. He's now. Now this is for Derwin. This is a memory for you, Derwin.
Commentator, if you want to. There's the acceleration. Oh, this is absolutely fantastic. Dennis Irwin. The whole cup tie summed up in an instant.
And of course, he was from Cork, Joe, as you know, Dennis Irwin.
Yes, we as we know, yeah.
But he was one of the good ones. An unsung hero of Man United in my book, doesn't get the credit that he should get.
Well, I think that, to be honest, I think that United supporters really appreciate him for how good he was.
Yeah,
he was. I mean, he was very, very good. He was outstanding.
Gary Neville got left back of Premier League, all-star team, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah,
and he received his little medal from Dennis Irwin. And on that show that they have with Wright, Keane, Scholes, Carragher sometimes, that Jill Scott and Neville,
Rooney,
Rooney's on it sometimes. Roy Keane turned around and said, "How have you got that when Dennis Irwin hasn't got it? I mean, that's ridiculous." And they actually had a good chat about it the last show.
Yeah.
And they were saying that it's more to do with the fact that how many Premier League matches that Neville played rather than the actual ability.
Oh, I see.
Because
that's been right.
Robson hasn't. He's not in the Hall of Fame.
And I find that interesting. But then Robson didn't win that many championships.
No, and what they're saying now is that a lot of the players themselves are saying is that it shouldn't really be based on how many matches you played. It should be like, how did Brian Robson not in a Premier League All-Star, Hall of Fame?
That's true. That's very true, and he was one of the best.
I mean, when you look at it, though, I mean, you're looking at some of the guys that he might be up against, for that. But I mean, let's be honest, the Hall of Fame is big enough for everybody.
Yeah.
And the players that I was going to mention that he'd be up against would be the likes of Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira, guys like that. But here's the problem with English football. English football has a very short memory.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that matters in English football now is what goes on in the 2020s. They don't care about anything that went before.
No.
That's right, true.
And they forget all the players that went before, that forged this. And it's only what's happening in the here and now. Like
Yeah.
you'll find Holland will be in there pretty soon. You know, I'm sure
Yeah.
Shearer must be in there, and
that's
what have you.
that's what they were saying on the show, was the fact that like Mark Hughes isn't in it.
Right.
And obviously it being very sort of, that show is very sort of Man United centric, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Liverpool to a point when Carragher's on it, but they were literally going through some of the names, and you're like sort of like Van Nistelrooy's not in it,
Right.
and you kind of go, well, how can
Well, do you remember Kanchelskis?
Yeah.
He was
I mean,
brilliant.
he was fine. Yeah, he was a fine player for United.
And Cantona, Eric Cantona, as you said.
Eric Cantona, you know, Dennis Bergkamp. I don't know if he's in there. Dennis Bergkamp probably scored some of the greatest goals that were ever scored.
Absolutely.
But it probably wasn't the Premier League back then. It was the First Division, probably. You know, so you're looking at just look at these guys.
Many people in Sky Sports think that the soccer was invented with the Premiership. You know, sometimes.
Oh yeah,
You know?
And they forget everybody else. I mean, you look at that Man United team of the '60s. Man United team of the '60s had 3 Ballon d'Or players on their team.
Exactly.
At the same time.
Lord Charlton and Best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Three
they had
3 at the same time.
absolutely. Now the Premiership table looks like this after 11 games. Well, honest, that can take some comfort in that he has 31 more games to get it right. Arsenal are on top with 26, Man City are on 22, Chelsea on 20, Sunderland on 19, Spurs, Villa, Man U, and Liverpool all on 18 points. They're the top 8 teams in the Premiership. Now, Joe, in local soccer, I forgot to mention last 2 weeks, in the Premiership here in Limerick, you all recognise a lot of these names. Fairview Rangers, after 11 games, are leading on 31 points. And Ballinanty are on 27, Pike Rovers on 24, Ashling on 20, Mungret on 18, Regional 17, and Janesborough on 16. That's the Premiership here in Limerick. We can't forget the locals.
Right. Did anyone see that one over the weekend, the comment by Richard Keys?
No.
As to why in the Sunderland Arsenal game.
Yeah.
And Keys makes the comment about, well, I don't know how he put it, but he put it anyway. Well, Sunderland kind of bent the rules or broke the rules a little bit. They brought the advertising boards in closer to the field so that Arsenal wouldn't be able to get run-ups for their long throws.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. So I saw one with Tony Pulis the other day. And again, I go back to this, right? I'm talking now about 1970, 69, 70, 71. In our reserve team at Leicester City, Pat Cruz was our centre forward. He could throw the ball into the middle of the penalty box, right? We were using the long throw back then.
And a heavier baller.
Yeah. So don't tell me that this is new. Sir Alex Ferguson, was talking to Pulis when Pulis got Stoke promoted to the First Division Premier League, whatever it was, and he was asking him. He says, "What's the first thing that you do?" And Sir Alex says to him, he says, "You know what?" He says, "You make your place as difficult as possible for other teams to play."
Yeah.
He said, "You've got to stop the other teams from playing, or else they'll kill you. So you got to find a solution to that." So Pulis said, "Okay." So he made the pitch smaller, narrower, and brought in the advertising hoardings to make it look like it was a cramped ground, like White Hart Lane used to look back in the days, and stop people. And then he had Rory Delap. And Delap could throw the ball practically to the far post for you.
He could, yeah.
Yeah, and then they had big guys up front that they'd put the ball in the box, and they'd they put pressure on the keeper
Mayhem.
from set
Mayhem,
plays, and they created mayhem is what they did.
Yeah.
And I mean that's what Arsenal are trying to do now with a slicker football outfit on the field, but they're still trying to use the same tactics to get themselves a goal. And an interesting stat: Man City are 4 points behind Arsenal,
Yeah.
right? With the same, is it same goal differential, or Arsenal have got a couple of goals more than them in the goal differential side?
They have, yeah.
And City have lost what, 2 or 3 games?
They have 22 points out of 33.
So they've lost 2, possibly 3 games, or tied a couple. So City are actually scoring goals from play.
Yeah.
And Arsenal a lot of theirs are coming from set plays, which is fine. I mean, you take goals anywhere that you come, but the City of last year is gone. That team is no more. He now has got a team of terrific players.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrific players. He has out of the 11, I think, that played at the weekend,
Yeah.
8 of them are under 25 years of age, and 3 or 4 of them are 21, 22, 23. So we talked last year about City not having the legs to run. He had a small squad. And the reason they couldn't last games because they were picking on the same dogs to run the race after race after race. Now he's got a bench of 23, 24 guys that are all outstanding players. And they are going to be around for a while, in my opinion. And I don't think by a long shot the Premier League is Arsenal's.
You're watching SportsView here on LairMedia.tv, and all the information is on the bottom of the screen. You can email us into the studio or text us with your comments, and we'll be happy to read them out. Now, we're in the middle, of course, of what they call the November internationals in rugby, just to change tack for a minute. And over the weekend, we had Argentina beating Wales 52-28. Ireland beat Japan, that's no shock, 41-10. New Zealand beat Scotland in a very tight, competitive game. I saw the most of that game, 25-17. England beat Fiji, 38-18. Italy beat Australia, 26-19. A terrific result for Eddie Jones. Good old Eddie did it again. And I know Eddie Jones is the Japanese manager, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But anyway, well done to Italy as well. But my favourite team, South Africa, walloped France. I know they're in the tries at the end of the match, 32-17 in Paris. And really, there's no team to beat South Africa at the moment that's standing, anyway, in my opinion. Did you see any of the rugby, Derwin?
Yeah, I watched the Wales-Argentina game yesterday.
Why?
Yeah, why? But I mean, Wales.
I know, I'm only joking.
Wales had moments where they were really good, and then they had moments when they were just shocking. And Argentina are a good team, aren't they?
Oh, they are a good team, yes.
I mean, we talked about it before. On their day, they can beat anybody.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And on their off day, they can lose to anybody. So if it was one of their good days, I can imagine. But is the Welsh team? Is it a young team?
Yeah.
So you can understand the inexperience.
Yeah, I mean there was moments in the game, Joe, that was like you could nearly hark back to the glory days in the 70s and 80s, because they were running the ball all the time, and they've actually found, I'd probably say, half a dozen players who actually look like really good players.
Oh, that's good news. That's very good news. I didn't see them No, I didn't see the match.
Yeah, I mean, they took a load of injuries yesterday with them. Jack Morgan I think he's nearly broken his arm. There was a load of injuries, and Wales basically took virtually the whole team off and then put all the subs on in that second half, just to, again, blood them. And I think that Steve Tandy is he's probably doing the right thing in trying to get youngsters through and experience it. They're going to be, they'll still be the whipping boys in the Six Nations come, February time.
I don't know. I think outside of, say, England and Ireland, I'd say Scotland will be a handful for anybody. They played great rugby.
Yeah, New Zealand really got it in the last 10 minutes, really, didn't they?
They did, yeah. But I mean, Scotland did very well. They competed equally against New Zealand. I know they lost the game, but the game, they made it a game of it, as they say.
The interesting thing about that game yesterday with Wales, that stadium was only half full.
That's serious.
That was only half full yesterday. And
the price of the tickets would be a factor.
I mean, again, they're kind of they're pricing themselves out of certain things. They're saying it's a sellout for the New Zealand game, which you'd expect it to be.
Always, everybody wants to see New Zealand. Are they playing South Africa?
I think they're playing South Africa.
Oh my goodness me!
I think it's Japan next. I think. No, not Japan. Might be Fiji. I think something like that. Anyway,
I watched the Japan-Ireland match. Obviously, Japan played terrific rugby. They play a terrific brand of rugby. In my book, I'm not a rugby expert. I know they were the score. They ran out of pep in the end. The physicality of the game definitely took its toll on the players. They have a few big players, but they're not physically strong enough at this level to sustain a full 80-minute, full-on game. That's my reading of the match. They were pretty competitive, and for 3/4 of the game, but they ran out of steam. The physicality and fitness of the Irish team told at the end. But fair play to Eddie Jones. I think he's building something good there by the look of things, and he is a good team going there. I don't know how they'll get on in the World Cup. I don't know. Where is the World Cup being played? The next Rugby World Cup.
It's in America, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, that's why Ireland and New Zealand played over here.
Oh yeah.
Because the next one is here, so they're talking now. And the US last week or the week, was it last week? Ireland lost to New Zealand in Chicago.
Yeah.
And the States got hammered by somebody. Either that weekend or a few days before, and they're now lamenting the fact that they don't have a serious
squad
host nation contender.
Yeah, I mean that was going to be a problem for America. I think Canada are a lot stronger than America in rugby.
Oh yeah, I think so.
They're
and then you had all the problems with the stadium. With the announcing and stuff like that, and
you had a lot
a stadium that can. I mean, with everybody anybody has taken from America what the in-stadium experience is like on a game day, with the announcements, with the referees now talking to the crowd in soccer and in rugby and so on and so forth. They couldn't even get the communications from the referee on the field.
No,
and they couldn't get the
television
incident up on the big screen.
That's right.
So it's like how that's happening at Soldier Field is beyond me.
That's basic. Maybe they're out of date. I don't know.
I mean, but the NFL wouldn't allow them to be out of date.
No.
If that happened on the NFL weekend, the TV companies would be all over the NFL on the Monday morning.
Of course they would, and I mean, it's not that they don't have the money. Of course they have the money.
There's probably a mixture in it, Joe, of them just being, it's rugby, it's not our game. There's a little bit of sort of being lethargic about it.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. I mean, there could be a little bit of that in it, but
Because they
you
must be
know, and I
struggling
suppose
to get.
it's not a bad time to have it happen, so that they can actually
Yeah,
fix it. You know,
and
get the gremlins out, so to
there's
speak.
probably a lack of sponsorship as well for it, isn't there? Because
Oh yeah,
it's not their game, is it?
no,
Well, no, but I mean, let's be honest though. It's a more skilled version of American football.
That are definitely. I mean, if you said
You
go
know,
watch NFL or watch
yeah.
rugby union,
And,
you're gonna
I mean, you watch the hits that happen in a rugby match,
yeah.
and these guys have no helmets and no pads on
no.
compared to what's happening in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd like to see South Africa taking on the Buffalo Bills.
without pads and helmets would be a
Yeah,
very interesting one.
it would be. It
But
would be.
but then again, you know, it's the way it goes. But talking of rugby, Pat, we lost one of the greats at the
Yes,
weekend.
yes, we did. From Cork Constitution
I,
Island, Barry McGann. Barry
I,
McGann.
I
Uh,
used I
I
used to
forgot.
hate Barry McGann.
Barry McGann was. I forgot to put up a picture on him, but 69 to 76, I think, was his era on the Irish rugby team. He actually replaced Mike Gibson. Well,
Yes,
I don't say replaced. Mike Gibson was moved into the
in the
centre,
centre. Yeah.
and of course Mike Gibson was a world class player, probably one of the world class players that would walk into an All Blacks team, in my opinion. In his heyday, Mike Gibson
Yeah.
was, and but Barry McGann, gentleman, lovely player, and
I used
we,
to hate him playing against Limerick teams.
yeah,
When he was with Cons.
Cork on once
Cons back in those days, they had him and Murphy and Kieran, all those fellas.
yeah. Do you
I hate
remember?
'em.
Phil O'Callaghan with
Oh yeah,
big Phil with Dolphin,
yeah.
2 points of
You
stout
know,
and a few fags, and he go on playing.
yeah. You know what I didn't realize about Barry McGann? Barry McGann was in the panel for the Munster versus All Blacks game in 1978.
I didn't know that now, but he was an accomplished soccer player as well.
Yeah, he played for Shelburne, I think.
Yeah, that was his first
Yeah,
taste of sport was soccer.
yeah.
But
Noel Cantwell tried to. Noel Cantwell recommended him to Man United, to Matt Busby, and
yeah,
McGann turned him down. Then a few years afterwards, Dennis Law was playing the benefit match, testimonial match, something down in Cork, and he played with McGann, and he recommended McGann to Busby when he went back, and McGann would never switch over. His
he was
first
fixed.
love was rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, we lost him, and we'll get some clips of him in flying form for next week's program. It's Barry McGann. We'll play a fitting tribute. I just wanted to bring you a small bit of an interview, lads. It's lasted about a minute.
I'm Joe Waters, played for Grimsby Town from 1976 to 1984. Had a great times, great memories. The town of Grimsby and town of Cleethorpes were buzzing at the time. It was a great, great time to be here and to live here.
For the second season down. Town has made his run already, and Seasman played
There's a few favourite matches. The most favourite was the Third Division Championship game that we played here on Brundle Park against Sheffield United. When we saw the fixture list, we were so excited about that game. We thought what a great end to the season it would be if they were going for the championship and we were going for promotion. We'd have a full house and it'd be a great occasion. If we win the Third Division Championship. And we beat them 4-0. So it was a happy place to be.
4-0, Joe. My researcher, thanks very much to her for picking out that clip. I don't know where she found it, but she found it anyway, That was a while back, was it, Joe? A bit back?
That was a couple of years ago I did that interview.
Yeah.
It was actually, I went back for my brother Dermot's. He wanted to go back for his 70th birthday.
Oh, yeah.
So his sons, Geoffrey and Dermot, said to him that we'll take you wherever you want to go. If you want to go to the Rugby World Cup, we'll go. if you want to go to golf, we'll take you and what have you. And he said, no, I said, I want to go back to Grimsby. So we went back to Grimsby. He'd been to Grimsby a few times
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I played there over Easter time. He and the father and the mother would come. And because we always played Good Friday. In those days, Good Friday,
yes,
because the fishermen were all in from the sea. So Good Friday was a big day, Easter Saturday, and then Easter Monday. We were the only team that played 3 games over the Easter period.
Wow.
In those days. And so he would come and see those because they get the 3 games in.
yeah.
And so I went back and met him there. My daughter Lindley also came with me, and we had a great few days there, catching up with old friends and what have you. Reliving a few memories.
And the best fish and chips in England.
You better believe it. You better believe it.
Fresh from just over the
Yeah.
wall.
But now, of course, the argument goes out because there's so many new ones. But back in the day, it used to be Steele's. It was in St. Peter's Square. Steele's and, oh God, the other one. Steele's was actually a place that you went in and sat down. And you got a haddock and a half.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Oh,
Chips and mushy peas. Tea and bread and butter. That was the dinner that they had there for you. And Ernie Beckett's was the takeaway, and that was kind of kitty corner away from the opposite side of the street
yes,
in
yes.
St. Peter's Square. And Ernie Beckett's was a takeaway place, although they had a few tables. I think they may have even had a bigger place in the back, but they were the same. You got, when you had takeaway from there, it was a haddock and a half and chips, big bag of chips.
There was some eating in
yeah.
1.5 haddocks.
That was many a Saturday night dinner for me. I can tell you that after a match.
Well, Formula One were in action over the weekend. The Brazilian Grand Prix was on. I don't know if anybody see it. Lando Norris won the Grand Prix. Antonelli was runner-up, and Verstappen third. Russell fourth, and Piastri fifth. So the drivers' championship looks like this. Lando Norris is 390 points. Piastri is 366. Verstappen has 341. And Russell is on 276. So I think it's Lando Norris's grand to lose, I'd say, at this stage. So terrific driver, and well worth watching, I must say. I don't have that much interest in Formula One, but I like watching the start of the race and the end, of course, is decided.
Yeah.
The end is decided well before the race is over, which is anyway.
So how many races do they have left in that then?
I think they run up to March, so there's probably 4 or 5.
Okay.
Off the top of my head. Somebody might correct me online if you're watching 4 or 5, I think.
Can Verstappen still win it then with the amount of points up for grabs?
I think he could, but it would need like Norris and a few of them to literally not finish. Yeah, Piastri not to finish.
Yeah. He'd need all of that and win all the races. And I wouldn't be a betting man on that. No, I wouldn't say it. Except he organise a few crashes, I say, or won't do it, But the golf
things that amaze me though, how a car that wins, that obliterates everybody one year, the next year they come back, and it's not the same.
I know, yeah. I don't understand the intricacies of it either. That a car like Mercedes was dominant.
Yeah.
And where are they now? A Red Bull.
Yeah.
I think it's all the changes they put in every year. And I think some, like Red Bull, generally are much more on the ball with certain things. But I think it's all to do with regulations. They changed. I think they literally have to change the cars every year because they put new things in place, like how how much downforce the car can have, and you know
And
all this kind of stuff.
Durban, what I was reading, they actually weigh the fuel as well. They
Yeah, yeah,
weigh the fuel.
yeah.
I really do. I thought all.
They weigh the cars after the race as well.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, because like it's that again is something to do with the fuel as well. So it's to do with the fact that the car should run for 60 laps, for argument's sake, X amount of speed. Average speed should leave you X amount of gallons in the tank.
Yes.
But they only fill the cars to finish the race. So again, when they get a car that's got a little bit more juice in it than it should have, they then investigate that car as well to see why has it got more fuel than the other cars, because they should all be roughly on the same kind of level.
Yes.
And that's how they find out all these different bits. And
but then there's a 3 or 4 or 5 different tires as well, they use in a race.
Yeah, I mean it's more like a science than it is a car race, isn't it?
That's true. Yeah, they wouldn't do well in the 50s and 60s anyway. Some of the drivers against the likes of James Hunt and Nicky Lauda and them. A different era. The golf is flying around. Abu Dhabi golf was on over the weekend, and Mr. Roy from England, 25 under in a playoff against Tommy Fleetwood. He won it. 25 under. I had to read that twice. 66, 64, 66, and 67. Rory McIlroy shot a 62 in the last round, and he finished 3 shots back. Lowry finished on minus 19. 64, 69, 68, and 68. They seem to like the sun and the sand.
I think the thing that everybody forgets, and I know I keep harping on about it, if a golf course has got 4 par 5s, they're not really par 5s anymore. They're par 4s.
That's 4 shots.
Yeah, if you think about it over a 72-hole tournament, that's 16 under to start with.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So you start.
So you're saying anybody should be 16 under?
Well, they kind of, if you looked at the stats, they're nearly running between 8 to about 12 under over the course of playing the par 5s over the week.
And the length of the course was 7,425 yards. Is that big?
They're not playing it at 7,400. So they'll move the tees forward on some of the par 4s, but they don't change the signs or anything like that.
Oh, I have you.
So they might move it 60 yards forward one day because they suddenly realise that somebody's going to knock it on this green over the water, and someone's going to take the risk on, and it'll be on the telly and all the rest of it. So they'll move that tee forward. So it could be a 460-yard par 4. The TV will tell you, but they've moved the tee 60 yards forward, so it's 400 yards.
Ah, I see. I understand.
And the golf course itself, like the club itself, won't go, oh, actually, they only played it at 6,800 yards.
Did you see anywhere, Durban, where I didn't read it myself now, so I don't know whether it's true or not, that Rory McIlroy is not playing on the American Tour anymore?
You hear so much. I've got to the point now where I don't know what to believe anymore because there's so much fake news going around.
Yeah.
That he's supposedly joining Live.
Well, they're moving from a 3-round to a 4-round tournament, so that would be attractive as well for people.
So I mean, again, the whole thing is like, you kind of go, oh, I don't believe that, but at the same time, it'll all be money based.
It is, isn't it?
To do with all the. Can you remember how much slagging off he did of Liv?
Oh yeah.
And now suddenly, supposedly, allegedly, he's moving to Live now. And you sit there and just go, well, and don't forget that Live tour is also kind of half joining up with the US tour, so that they're kind of amalgamating certain events. Will be
well. It looks like the world ranking points will be gained on the Far East tour for Live.
Yeah.
If I read it right. So their connection is stronger at the moment there, you know. But
Does anyone remember when Don Revy quit as
Yeah.
the England manager and went over
yes,
to the United Arab Emirates?
yeah,
Did you ever see that clip of him playing golf over there?
no,
He's playing golf. They're playing in the desert, right? And he has his caddy carries around with him as part of the gear
Little Matt.
a mat of artificial grass
Yeah.
that you hit your shot off of it, then you go find your ball, and then you put your ball on the mat and hit again.
Yeah.
Because Revy was a huge golf fanatic
yeah, yeah.
back in the day, and I was
I must-
just thinking that now compared to the courses.
We
that
must
they've
find
got over there now.
we must find the clip of
I-
that.
We took Volvo, like, you know, that I like do all the Volvo events on the tour, and they took an event out to Bahrain, and there's 2 golf courses in Bahrain. One's a sand course and one's a green golf course. And you kind of, we ended up, like, I went next door and played the sand course. But it was just like you said, Joe, it was playing off AstroTurf. I mean, years and years ago, when I first went out playing tournaments, I remember going out to Africa to play what they called the Safari Tour, which used to run from sort of early January through till March.
Yes.
And that Safari Tour, we putted out on browns, which was oil poured all over the greens. And then every time you putted basically through treacle. And when you left, obviously there was just massive footprints everywhere. And there'd be a little bloke by the side of the green who'd come out and smooth it all out before the next group hit their shots in. And I remember the first event I went to was, I want to say something silly like Zambia or Ivory Coast or something like that. Might even be Nigeria. And I remember coming out the changing rooms with a brand new pair of golf shoes on. And I remember Torrance laughing his socks off at me because, like, I'm looking at his shoes and they're battered. And I'm thinking, like, why is he laughing? And he's laughing because I've got these bright white leather FootJoy shoes on. Well, by the time I played my first practice round, I looked like I've been on an oil rig. Because I had it up my trousers, I had it everywhere, this stuff. And it was like, I'll never forget it. I remember coming back with a pair of shoes. I literally went to the golf club at Sudbury to show the caddies and the kids who I grew up playing golf with
yes.
what happens to my shoes. They were like rotted. And
They would be
browns. Yeah. It was just the most bizarre. And like, you'd miss the green and you'd chip it, but you were chipping it onto a sand green, not a grass green.
Yes.
The golf courses were grass, but they couldn't grow fine grass on the greens. So you played on what they called browns, and it was the most. You chip it, and it was like chipping it into porridge. Or treacle.
I'll have another bowl of porridge here.
Honestly, it was the most bizarre. But I remember playing in Bahrain, playing the sand course next door, and literally getting a little mat. And do you know when they play the Open at St Andrews every year? So. Not every year, obviously, but whenever the Open is going to St Andrews, the winter before and all the way through spring, if you go up there to play and pay a green fee at like 500 quid a round on the old course, you have to play off a mat all the way around, so there's no divots out of the fairways, and like the fairways are the Open to it when the Open arrives.
Oh yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, you don't disturb it.
They give you something like the size of an iPad. Imagine a piece of AstroTurf the size of an iPad.
And to take your shots on the course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good thing you ever came up with it. the PGA Tour, the worldwide. I love the Americans with the long names for tournaments. The Worldwide Technology Open, whatever that is. Anyway, Ben Griffin won it. Wait for it, -29. No. Would that encourage anybody to take up the game of golf?
If he won that much money, he might.
Yeah, what did he win? Like a couple of $1 million?
Yeah, I didn't look up the winnings, but they're usually 2 or 3 million anyway. The pocket money, and the ladies tour, the ladies European tour, I should say, hosted the China Championship for ladies, and a Chinese lady won it at -16. She was Uxin Liu, Uxinliu, Uxin Liu. I hope I'm saying that. And she -16, 3-round tournament. Our own Lauren Walsh was playing as well, and she finished at -5.
Hey, don't be laughing there.
Yeah.
He's there killing himself laughing.
Yeah.
I saw a good one this morning, right? I was looking at it. Like my niece, her name is Avine.
Yeah.
Right? So, and it had the pronunciation of Irish names, the way you should phonetically sound them. Avine, right? But AIOBH doesn't sound anything like that. So
No.
I'm just thinking, if you went to a Chinese person and asked them to read Avine and pronounce it, they wouldn't be doing any better than that.
I did my best. Anyway, our own golfer finished -5 on the European Tour, and she's doing well on the European Tour. Lauren Walsh and Amy Foster. I think then there's 2 or 3 more there. They're doing pretty well. And in tennis, the Iron Man of tennis, Novak Djokovic, who moved recently from Serbia, his family and kids, to live permanently in Athens. And he won the ATP title there. He beat Musetti in 3 sets for his 101st tournament victory. And he's only the 3rd player in the Open era to go over 100 victories in his career. He's on 101. What's his name? Federer is on 103. And Jimmy Connors tops the list at 109, which is insane when Jimmy Connors is playing. Which is an insane number.
I wouldn't have guessed Connors, would you?
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't, but Jimmy Connors was, I think the focus that he didn't win as many Grand Slams, the focus went off him, but he was a prolific winner, when his name was on the street.
But they had the same thing with Rod Laver.
Yeah.
Rod Laver did, before they had Grand Slams, and because Rod Laver was a professional, he couldn't play in some of these tournaments.
Yeah.
So although he'd won more than anybody else in terms of tournaments and the professional ones were never considered because the rest were amateurs. So it's just I mean, it's a funny thing, when you think about it. You think back and you go, Jimmy Connors. I mean, how many would Borg have won? How old was he when he retired? 26?
25, 26?
25,
yeah.
26?
Bjorn Borg, I think, was up in the 90s, I think. Now, I'd have to look it up, but he was up in the 90s. But, I mean, your man, Ken Rosewell was prolific as well, as well as, what's his name in Australia, the other chap. Anyway, in the WTA finals, to finish with tennis, not finish, but Elena Rybakina beat the favorite Ariana Sabalenka in straight sets, which was a surprise result because she was the red hot favorite to win it, but she was well beaten on the day, and she won $5.35 million for her 2-set effort. Oh, there you go, for an hour and 5 minutes. Nice money if you can get it, That was over in Saudi Arabia. That WTA finals, end of the year tournament for women, and the end of the men's tournament will be next month in December, and Djokovic qualified for that as well. But I don't know what the motivation he has now. He doesn't need money anymore. Have we a new staff member?
Yeah, we do. We have two of them.
Oh,
They
good.
both came in for a visit.
Yeah, and if in snooker over the weekend, the international tournament in China was John Higgins, and I have another Chinese player won that.
Here we go.
He's he won't catch this time. His first name is W Wu Yize Yeez. But he's a terrific player, an absolute terrific player altogether. And he beat all the top players to reach the final, which he won 10-6. He blew Higgins away. And I think he as a result of that victory, he's into the top 16 now. I think he'd be an outside bet for the World Championship. Let's remember, it's SportsView, we said it here first, Another Chinese, although, what's his name, never won the World Championship, did he? I don't think he did. The other Chinese player, I don't think he did he?
Ding Zhong Wei, or whatever it
Jung
was.
Wei, Din Jung Wei. I don't think he ever won the World Championship.
Where did I fish that one from? That was good, wasn't it?
That was a good one. Yeah, you pulled that one out.
I can't tell you.
Yeah,
I will tell you what, we get no coverage of snooker over here.
Just getting back to soccer on League Two, Joe. Walsall are top at 29, with Swindon on 29, Salford 26, MK Dons, Grimsby, Crewe, and Notts County all on 25 on League Two in England. And in Championship, Coventry 1-0, top of the table clash. They're on 34 points. Middlesbrough on 29, Stoke on 27, Preston, and love to see Preston getting into the Premiership, on 26, Hull on 25, Millwall on 25, and Ipswich on 23. So I'd like to have a little punt on Preston. I'd love to see Preston coming up. They're one of the.
That would be something. It would. So tell me this much: did Middlesbrough lose their manager to Wolves?
Yeah. Well,
Did he?
it's not it's not official, I think, but he's
no smoke without fire.
Yeah.
He's left Middlesbrough, like on gardening leave. And I think it was Wolves and Middlesbrough were discussing together about compensation
for it.
Yeah.
There's a question in here for Joe and the comments, Joe. Have you got any advice from Mikel Arteta? Thank you, Dave. Thanks very much for the comment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what advice can you really give him?
They're doing well in Europe.
They are. They're doing well all over the place. But so it's really hard to have a go at him, because the last couple of years they've missed on all the things that we talked about, right? Eventually, the flair kind of doesn't work all the time, and they weren't scoring enough goals from play, and now they're scoring goals from set plays, which would have probably 2 years ago won them the league.
I think one of my opinion, and it's not worth much, I suppose. I think one of the positives for Arsenal is that Declan Rice is in terrific form.
He is in terrific form, but they've also got a very deep squad.
And Sacco is in terrific form. Those two players I saw now, they stood out for me.
And Gabriel Jesus has just come back from a long-term injury. So they did well in the summer. They did a similar thing to what City have been doing the last couple of years, is signing younger players and squad, but quality squad players, not just guys that you're going to, when you put somebody in, the difference is going to be, from here to here with them. No, I mean, they've got good guys that are going to be good around the squad all the time and will accept when they're playing, and they will give their best when they're playing. But I think it's going to be a really interesting one between City and Arsenal this year. because both of them have been set up pretty much the same way.
Yeah, it will go down to the wire. By the way,
Yeah.
it's looking now. There's only what is it? Well, there's only 4 points between them. At the moment after 11 games. So
Yeah. I tell you, it makes great. I mean, it makes for a great league.
Chelsea are doing well as well. Chelsea are doing well.
Chelsea are fine, but problem with Chelsea is that they can't find any consistency.
No.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah.
They're like Spurs. I mean, Spurs can win away from home and they can't win at home. And that's going to be one for Thomas Frank to sort out there. When it used to be the other way around, Spurs would always win at home, and you may as well send in the 3 points when they went away from home, because they're never going to do it. And I'm sorry to my brother and my nephews; they're all Spurs fans. But Chelsea, just that experiment that they've got going with buying all these young players, and then they're making a fortune shifting them afterwards. But where is the team that is being formed from that? There has to be a plan for that. You can't just be a factory that's bringing in young players for this amount of money, and then we're going to sell them for that amount of money over there without winning anything.
At this early in the season, one of the disappointments for me, I know it's early in the season, is Leeds United. I had high hopes. I don't think they'll win the Premiership, but I had high hopes that they would be able to do better than what they're doing now. Secondly, Sunderland are in 4th position, lads. Where will they be at the end?
Well, to be honest, I didn't think Sunderland were going to be doing as well as they were doing, just by the amount of players that they signed and brought in. But their coach seems to be a very well put together guy. He knows his stuff. The organisation there is great. And what does Stadium of Light hold? 40,000?
Yeah, nearly 50. Yeah.
Well, yeah. What about our Irish coach in the Premiership, Keith Andrews with Brentford?
Yeah,
he's doing very well.
Well, what did I say? I saw. So we have Keith Andrews. We have
Martin O'Neill gone up to Celtic.
Martin O'Neill at Celtic. We've got Robbie Keane at Ferencváros.
And they're doing well in Europe.
Yeah, and I thought that there was a 4th one that I saw in the paper this morning. And maybe it was Stephen Bradley. I don't know. Stephen Bradley's at
by the way,
Rovers, right?
I forgot to mention, Shamrock Rovers did the double this year for the first time.
And it's Bradley, right? Is it Bradley is the coach there?
Yeah, Stephen Bradley.
Yeah,
they beat Cork City 2-0 in the final. Yeah. And one of the star players of Cork City was Sean Maguire, who used to be with Preston, if you remember.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know who I saw is playing there? Is Viv Anderson's son.
Yeah.
Playing at Cork City.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Joe, there was a great...
They played very well, but Rovers had too much for them, really.
And then they got a man sent off early on.
They did, yeah, which was oh God, I saw the tackle, and players are making a huge mountain. I'm not saying the tackle was a bad tackle. I agree, but really, the player didn't. When the man got sent off, he suddenly recovered from needing an ambulance and the helicopter on the pitch. He suddenly recovered and played on.
There was a great thing about the Sunderland manager on Football Focus a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah.
And they got talking to him, and he said they asked him a question about, what's your going forward plan at Sunderland, and he said, we haven't got one. And he said, what do you mean you haven't got one? He said, we're playing whoever we're playing next. That's the only thought we have.
That's the plan.
We don't think about 2 games down the road, 3 games down the road.
Next match.
Right in front of us, and all the emphasis is on winning that one game, and then we win it, we draw, we lose, shut that one down. Right, we're playing Man United next. So all the thought is about Man United game, not about planning ahead or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, but to be fair, there's a lot of people have said, the philosophy has always been, you're only as good as your next game. This one's gone. It's only the next one, and that's the only one you can do anything about.
You're planning the next one, yeah.
And how many times have we seen teams, especially lower division teams or lower Premier First Division teams, that have a good cup run going, and their league form goes out the window because nobody wants to get injured for the cup matches.
Yeah.
So it's what the team is picked on what you've done in this game and what you're going to be able to do in the next game. And you're only as good as the next one. If you don't do it in the next one, then we'll find someone else. And that's the reality of it.
Yeah, next weekend we have no Premiership, and it's the World Cup group matches are happening. So we wish all the teams the best of luck, especially the Republic.
Yeah. When do we play Portugal? Is that the first or second match?
I'll tell you now. I'm just looking it up here.
Friday.
We are playing. We're playing Sunday. We're playing Hungary away Sunday. Was it Thursday? Did I see Thursday? We're playing Portugal at home on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Portugal at home and Hungary away. We could beat Portugal at home. We were very unlucky against Portugal away. So we could beat them at home. If we do, to set us up for an away to get 6 points.
Well, and there is, you're only as good as your next game. Hungary doesn't matter now, because if you don't do it against Portugal, then we're done and dusted anyway. So all the focus has to be on that, and you have to throw everything at it and make sure you get that result first.
We'll bring all the sad luck stories next Monday again, lads. And from Joe Waters, Dermot Honan, and myself, until we meet again next Monday, lads, have a good week. A very good week. Good night.
See you, boys.
Take care, lads. See you next time.